Every nation in the world desires to create a society with a deep sense of unity and cohesiveness, a society in which the disparate elements that constitute it are in harmony with each other and with the collective aspiration of the society to survive and to prosper. However, this desire has eluded many countries, including even the most developed. The building of a strong United Nations is a formidable challenge, one that the successive governments in our country have had to grapple with since independence. Our claim to unity as one people has faced tests in different political circumstances, and while we have many times passed the test, we have on some occasions failed that test, with grave consequences for our nationhood. Such failure has often raised concerns about our level of political maturity and tolerance, as well as the depth of our solidarity and our cohesiveness. Indeed, this conference could not have come at a better time, a time when we are trying to reflect on the regrettable post-election experiences of January 2008, just so that we can understand why such experience was witnessed at all in the first place, and how it should never, ever be allowed to recur in our beloved country. National integration has been at the core of the national policies and programs of many countries. Here in Africa, most countries embarked on national integration as a means to the realization of nationhood out of the numerous and disparate social groups that had to be brought within the borders of colonial entities through partition. At independence, these entities were inherited as emergent nation-states, but with a population that was diverse and its groups disparate. National integration was therefore required urgently in order to create national unity as well as coexistence and mutual understanding among the different social groups. Closely related to this was the concept of nation building, which was based on the need to construct one country out of the diverse ethnic subnationalities that had come to be united by the common nationalist struggle against colonial authority. In our case, of course, the very big struggle by Mau Mau, which liberated all of us seated here this morning. Ethnicity was not a major problem during the colonial period. Neither was there any significant threat to inter-ethnic unity, since the various tribes had a common enemy in the white man. As we used to say, Mzungu arudi Ulaya, Mwafrika apate uhuru. That was our common slogan, and we had one common enemy, Mzungu arudi. Therefore, ethnicity was really not a major problem. The real danger of national disharmony and disintegration came to the fore after independence, as the hatred for colonial leadership easily shifted to the new ruling African elite, now accused of all major shortcomings, including unfulfilled promises, unfulfilled expectations, and malpractices such as tribalism, nepotism, and corruption. And we know this really is the bane of our time. This is a challenge that as a country we are faced with even today, the problem of negative ethnicity and the problem of corruption, ufisadi. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ali Mazrui, one of our foremost scholars, indeed a pioneer, wrote a thought-provoking book entitled Cultural Engineering and Nation Building in East Africa. Professor Mazrui noted in his book that the society was at once plural and dichotomized. It had ethnic and religious pluralities and dichotomized between the elite and the masses, town and countryside, and privilege and underprivilege. This situation threatened the coherence and nationhood of the emergent states. The solution lay therefore in the pluralizing of society and the simultaneous establishment of mechanisms for intergroup conflict resolution. In other words, some homogenization, but also accommodation to group differences, especially in ethnically diverse societies. Scholars in other parts of the world have also dealt with this problem. One, Leonard Binder, wrote on the national integration and political development, that was the title of his book, in the American Political Science Review and pointed out that national integration is the creation of a cultural ideological consensus of a very high degree of comprehensiveness, end of quotes. All these are very worthy contributions of ideas about nationalism and nationhood, and how they can be attained.